True lovers, you ever feel like your soulmate is stuck in traffic on another continent with no GPS? True lovers, let's be honest, finding the one can feel slower than a snail on a spiritual retreat. You meditate, you journal, you even downloaded every dating app twice, and still nada. But don't worry, the Tao's got wisdom older than your grandma's grandma, and today we're diving into it. Hi, I'm Haim with V25 Media, and today we'll chat about the juncture between the wisdom of the Tao Te Ching and your love life. I'm passionate about helping true lovers like you uncover ancient truths to solve modern heart problems. And if you stick around till the end of this video, I promise to gift you with 3 practical tips for your dating life based on this powerful verse 25. And those of you who are already familiar with the story, sucks to be you. Those of you who still don't know my story, well, after 3 failed marriages, 3 heartbreaking divorces, I had to come to grip with the idea that I didn't know what I was doing when it comes to relationships, and when it comes to love, and maybe when it comes to life. And I was inspired to find some kind of set of rules, some kind of core principles that would be able to guide me to not repeat the same old painful pattern again and again and again, making all those mistakes in choosing a partner who wasn't right for me, despite of red flags, countless red flags in my face. And yet, what was leading me, and maybe some of you can relate, was desperation, not to be, the fear of being lonely, not considering that maybe alone does not equal loneliness, doesn't have to be, desperation for creating my own family based on my childhood trauma, and resistance to the idea of first I need to know who I am. I need to get to know me. What is important to me? What is non-negotiable for me? What is a no-no for me before I choose a partner? I didn't have all that. But then I met the amazing 81 verses. I was introduced to the 81 verses of the Tao Te Ching, 81 short poems that cover the whole breadth of life and what's the right way of living life. What's the right way of going through life? What could aid you when you're trying to make an important decision, such as getting matched with your soulmate? What should you do when it comes to how to build a healthy relationship, a healthy, what I call true love relationship, and not false love relationship? And the Tao Te Ching, coupled with other wisdoms that I I feel very close with, such as Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism, and Buddhism, I found a set of principles that guided me and introduced me to the love of my life, my now wife and best friend, Rachel. But it took a painful journey, and maybe my painful journey and the nuggets you can squeeze out of this wisdom could prevent you from falling into some of the traps that I did, and that so many do. So, if you believe that spiritual alignments beats swipe fatigue, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss any of our weekly Love and Tao wisdom drops. So, here we go, verse 25, based on the translation by Stephen Mitchell. Open quote. There was something formless and perfect before the universe was born. It is serene, empty, solitary, unchanging, infinite, eternally present. It is the mother of the universe. For lack of a better name, I call it the Tao. It flows through all things, inside and outside, and returns to the origin of all things. Close quote. So here are 5 bullet points interpreting the verse for finding a romantic partner per verse 25. Number 1, formless and perfect, quote unquote. Look for someone who isn't trying to perform love, but who is simply is love. Authenticity is the highest vibe. Perfections isn't in the package, it is in the presence. And this is the easiest thing to fall prey for. People who look good, people who are charmers, people who have really cool professions, great income, the right car, the right house, and yet their presence is meaningless. And yet they're not able to hear you when you share a painful, vulnerable story. Or they'll criticize, or they make it about themselves, or they just can't listen, they just have to keep interjecting. When you sit with them in a restaurant, how do they treat the waiter? Better yet, how would they treat the waiter if the waiter spilled the soup or the coffee on them? Will they freak out? Or will they contain their frustration and understand that people make mistakes? Because guess what? If you end up with them, one day you will make a mistake, and this is how they will treat you. Number 2, serene, empty, solitary, quote unquote. A potential partner should be comfortable in their own company. True lovers, don't chase someone who needs you to complete them. Find someone who's whole so you can complement, not complete. You know, I just had a conversation. We had an amazing weekend, my beloved Rachel and I asked her, you know, we do that sometimes. We ask each other fun questions like that. And I said, what is it about us that give me something about us that makes you feel good? And she said, you know, unlike past relationships, when I travel, you don't bug me. I don't get 10 text messages from you. Is everything okay? How come I haven't heard from you? When I don't return your call right away because I left my phone mute, I don't get angry text messages from you. It just is. And there is the assumption of all is well. If she didn't return my text right away, her phone is probably on mute. She probably got busy at work. She's probably taking a nap. Where myself as well, I had a similar experience in previous relationship. It's always like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, why would you think it's not? Well, I didn't hear from you for 20 minutes or for an hour or for 2 hours. Where are you? There's this fear-based notion that if they didn't get a response right away, something is wrong. You'll see it when you start dating somebody and you get one too many text messages from them where there's nothing wrong with just waiting a little bit before we talk to each other next. Number 3, unchanging, infinite, quote unquote. Seek someone with inner stability, not emotional volatility. While people grow, their core should be consistent, rooted in values that don't shift with the wind. Oh, I can say a million things about that, and I have countless examples. But emotional volatility was something that I experienced with all my past partners. Obviously, something was up with me, something within me was off that I attracted that. So anytime that, by the way, true lovers, that I share about my past partners, while it may sound like I'm talking smack about someone, remember the constant truth about such shares. I was in a position to attract that kind of a partner. Whatever was wrong with them was also a reflection in what was going on with me. And I shouldn't use the word wrong, but whatever was incomplete with them was because something within me was incomplete. So that's just to set the record straight. But emotional volatility was a theme through all my relationships. The first one, now I know, in hindsight, decades later, she was probably bipolar. She was getting angry really quickly. She was easy to anger out of nothing. I would come home and she would just lose her shit sometimes because no reason. She was just frustrated. You know, we were young, we were poor. I was in the army, so I was not as available. She was lonely in a foreign country. But is that a reason to be emotionally volatile? For some people it is. Now, do you need to be with people like that? Maybe not. I didn't realize it at the time. Wife number 2 was more moodiness in the area of let's just call it lethargic energy. Not having the drive to do this, not having the drive to do that, don't feel like getting a job, that kind of stuff. Now she's a completely different person, so to speak, in the sense that she's a busy mother of a couple of kids, and I'm sure she's doing fantastic. But at the time, we were both young and immature. So that's something I just didn't pay attention to, whether it's in her or within me. Why am I attracting somebody like that? And wife number 3 was all of the above combined. Emotionally volatile, unfortunately still is, lethargic energy in some areas, and a lot of selfishness. Again, I was the perfect partner at the time for this kind of person. I didn't finish my work, my self-work, my shadow work. So that's what I attracted, and that's what I ended up being in for 9 years. Nobody else to blame but me. Something for me to take responsibility for. 4, eternally present. Someone who can actually be there, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. A partner who shows up with presence is worth more than 10 who ghost with excuses. Okay, my last partner, first date, I told this story before, late for half an hour, no notice, not letting me know, hey, I'm going to be late, shows up, some kind of excuse about traffic. Something to watch for. Does that mean to break it off right away? Maybe not, maybe yes, I don't know. But does that mean to pay attention more from that moment? Yes. How are they showing up with integrity or without it? Am I showing up with integrity? Because if I have to work on my integrity, I better get to it. Otherwise, I will attract somebody that has the same problem or worse. 5, it flows through all things, inside and outside. Close quote. Watch how your person treats the barista, the server, the stranger. Love isn't just about how they treat you. It's about how love flows through them in all interactions. At one point, I was dating somebody remotely before I met my beloved Rachel. And for a moment, we both thought, oh, wow, this could work. Yeah, really cool interaction, really cool connection. And then at one point I shared something about somebody from my past, and that person said something like, oh yeah, that's because they are from this such and such ethnicity. And I paused and I was like, what was I just present to? And I realized that part of her has certain ideas, certain notions, certain fixed notions about certain ethnicities. Now, is that somebody I want to be with? Probably not. It doesn't match my set of values. I'm looking for somebody who, while we might have opinions about stuff, we know these are just opinions, and within a certain ethnicity, there is the whole spectrum of characters and personalities. We can't say ever, this whole group of people are such and such. That's never true. But somebody who lives their life like that, something for me to watch for. Versus somebody who's completely open. For example, my beautiful Rachel, she came into this when we started dating. I was from a different culture, she was from a different culture, and both of us had absolutely no problem with that. That's a good sign. So, green flag. So, those of you who stuck it out all the way to now, 3 practical dating tips based on verse 25. Number 1, practice presence yourself. Before expecting it from someone else, show up fully in your own life. Meditate, journal, and be aware. You'll attract what you already embody. And I could say so many things about meditation. The practice of meditation, whether it's 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes a day or more, is something invaluable. You mess it up, you don't meditate one day, get back to it the next day. I just did a certain type of meditation session with my wife before I started recording this video. Put me in completely different space, but as a regular thing, amazing tool to embrace. It will allow you to make so much better decision in so many areas of your life. Number 2, create stillness in your love life. Take breaks from the frantic swipe culture. Pause, reflect, give the universe space to work its magic, and give yourself room to feel who's truly right. In other words, don't rush into things. Don't rush into making decisions. Don't rush into committing before you know that this is the right thing for you. And trust me when I say that there's always red flags and there is always green flags if you pay attention. Number 3, use the Tao filter. Before getting serious, ask, does this person feel peaceful, grounded, connected to something greater than ego? If not, the Tao is telling you, next. So, people who are obsessed with their social media presence, something to watch for. No offense to anybody. I know we're using social media all the time, but is that my whole life? Some people confuse social media to real life. It's not. It's a communication channel. That's it. Like, it blows me away when somebody says, hey, I don't see you on social media. I'm like, yeah, but you have my number. Text me. Let's get on the phone. So look for that in your partner, because if one day you'll become partners, that's how your relationship's going to look like. Are you just going to social media each other, or just going to be looking at your phone while you're trying to share how your day was? Watch out for that. So true lovers, if this video is a little lantern in your soul, or even made you laugh out loud at your love life, go ahead and like this video. Comment with your favorite Tao truth. Share it with a friend who needs to get out of their romantic funk, and subscribe so we can keep traveling this path together, one wise verse at a time. Until next time, may your heart stay open, your spirit stay grounded, and may your soulmate finally get that GPS update. Stay ready, and true lovers.